What is up, you guys, and welcome to another one of my videos. Today we are going to talk about the do's and don'ts of relationships. I've been in my fair share of relationships over the past decade, and it has its high moments, it has its low moments. You know, every significant other is different and has their own pet peeves, things that really tick them off, things that really cheer them up in their day. I'm going to be talking to you guys about, just the basic things that you can do and not do with your relationship. You got to make sure there's an equal balance in the relationship with, I'm not one to assume, but, guy or girl, or two guys, two girls, whatever the case may be, you got to make sure it's equal for each of you. No one gets any more special treatment than the other. I remember one scenario in a relationship. I used to spoil the girl nonstop. I'd always take her to movies that she wanted to see. I'd always buy her, random stuff from Walmart that she thinks she wants. And, I do it because that's the type of guy I am, But I remember it was not equal. She wouldn't reciprocate. And it made me feel like she didn't feel the same way about me as I did for her. Another thing you gotta do is make sure you show attraction and affection. If you just ignore them and you're too focused on video games or your phone or Facebook or Instagram or whatever the case may be, they'll make you think that you're not interested in them. You gotta make sure there's a common interest within a future. A scenario that I was in one time, I see a future of getting married and having a family one day. I'm not in that much of a rush, but, still, it's on my bucket list, so to speak. And I could not say the same for her. She wasn't interested in marriage or starting a family, so, it wasn't really going to work out. So if you see a future with your significant other, make sure you have the same common interests and you both want to get married, you both want to have kids or not. There's always that time in a relationship where I wouldn't necessarily call it jealousy, but you're worried you might lose that one person you want to be with. And, they're not spending as much time with you as much as they used to, and they're not talking to you as much. But before you go assuming things on them, like they're cheating on you or they want to break up or whatever, make sure you take all information into consideration first before you go and jeopardize the relationship. I know a lot of people who have had the situation where, including me, I've always been afraid to be myself. I'm not the person that they want to be with. So sometimes I do say I like a band when I'm really not that much of a fan of them, or a movie or anything really, and I'm just not myself. But the most important thing about the relationship is that you are yourself. Just be yourself and everything will fall into place in due time. Don't go out with someone just because you're desperate and it's been a while, or maybe you're just horny, who knows, But the important thing about it is be with someone you actually want to be with. Don't be with someone just to get hormones out of the way. Because what that's going to do is just ruin them and break them down to make them think that they're never going to find anyone who actually truly wants to be with them. We all have been in those relationships where the person you want to be with has this crazy idea that they want to do something or learn something or follow something, and it just seems way out of proportion and doesn't seem realistic. But you gotta make sure you build them up and support them, because anything is possible, and who knows, they might actually succeed in what they want to succeed with, especially with your support. One thing that's actually ruined a lot of my relationships is communication. You gotta make sure you have a stable communication status. Make sure you talk to each other and not just go about your day without saying a word to them. You got to make sure you stay connected mentally and emotionally, and make sure you communicate, because that's one of the main factors of any relationship. It is important to keep your partner on their toes and never know what to expect from you. Don't be that predictable person. You gotta surprise them with flowers or chocolates or anything. Anything that they want, you gotta surprise them with gifts or presents or dates. Take them out to a movie or anything, dinner, that would be amazing. One of the most important things you can do in a relationship is trust each other, respect each other, and never lie to that person. Even little white lies, they can really mess a person up. You gotta be honest with each other, otherwise, the relationship is never gonna work. Don't go back out with someone who has cheated on you or has cheated with someone else. If you're in grade school and, a guy you're dating it also goes out with your best friend, I mean, just hypothetically. Later on down the road, it'll be fine. No harm done. It's all good. But if you're full-grown adults and your other cheats, don't go back out with them, because once a cheater, always a cheater. Don't be controlling and needy. I always make the reference of Ross from Friends, Sure, he seemed like a great guy, but he was very controlling. He didn't want his other to do specific things or go to a specific place or hang out with a specific somebody. And if you're constantly and always with the person that you're with, things will get boring and repetitive and predictable, and you don't want that. Don't rush into things too fast. It's important to take things slow and enjoy the little things. I remember one scenario where I was with a girl for, it was probably close to a year and a half, probably. I liked them for years and years, and they liked me too, but we only dated for about a year and a half. And I remember I did something. Looking back on it, it seemed pretty stupid now, but I asked them to marry me, and they did say yes. But the very next day, called it off, broke up with me, left. And yeah, it sucked, because in that moment, it feels like your whole world is over. But in the long run, it's important to not act out on fear or insecurities. Don't blow things out of proportion. Don't assume your other of doing things they never did or never even had the thought of doing. And don't pretend to be someone you're not just so someone will find an interest in you. Don't play on someone's weaknesses. If you know they're vulnerable in any way against any topic or word they're sensitive to, then don't play on that and make them your bitch or whatever the case may be. It's just not cool, it's abusive, and you can also get into really big trouble for that. Don't distance yourself with the person and don't focus on something else. Make them your number one priority, or as much as you possibly can. If they feel like you're not interested in them, they won't stay. I mentioned this word earlier, and I want to make another point on it. It's important to not abuse each other, verbally, mentally, emotionally, or even physically. Abuse in a relationship can really mess a person up and make them not ever be in a relationship again. I've been in an abusive relationship, verbally and physically. I would always get threatened to get kicked in the groin, and sometimes it actually did happen. And I just don't think that's what people in a relationship should do. That's not care. That's not love. That's stupid and not what a relationship should be about. And also, one of the worst things you can do in a relationship, don't break a promise. If you make a promise, then that shows you're dedicated to make sure you follow through on whatever that promise may be. And if you break it, it ruins the whole foundation of the relationship, it ruins the trust, and it might as well just ruin the whole relationship as it is. I hope you guys found this video helpful in whatever scenario you guys need help in, or if you just wanted to watch this video for entertainment. I hope you guys find what you're looking for in life, and I hope you find the person you're looking for. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and bell icon, and make sure you share this video so word gets out on what to do and what not to do in a relationship. And make sure you share this channel, because this is quality content.
Great excuse for socials, Zach. There's only one social to follow you with. Why don't you get a life and connect yourself with the online world? Anyway, click the video on the right to see a video YouTube thinks you'll want to watch. Click the bright red button on the left to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget that sexy bell icon that loves to be tickled. And make sure to share this channel, because this is quality content.